Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where Paul Lafferty is overseas at the moment. He's up in France with Harry's son, and we'll talk about that later. And Kevin Shea in the studio with me. But before we get into Kev and give him a bit of a hard time, we've got Bobby Fave, one of the legends of the golfing world, but certainly an avid racing fan, horse racing fan. Been in the horse racing business all his life. He's going to be chatting to us, and we'll see how he goes. It should be a very entertaining. Kev, you know Bobby Fave?
No, very well, yeah. I'm quite. I want to be looking forward to hearing the interview because he is a character.
Well, he's just released a book, which
That's
will
correct,
show,
yeah.
and we'll
Yeah.
preview his book because that's got some stories in it, and we'll talk to him about some of the touchy things in his past, and there've been some things.
There'll be a good laugh.
Yeah. I see you very miserable today. The chosen one not choosing right. What's the
So
story?
I'm like
Why are you going backwards
I'm
here?
like the weather outside here now. It's raining, it's gloomy, frustrated.
Stoke, you can't beat Stoke. Are you having a laugh?
Yeah, no, listen, I am having a laugh. I'm getting it 6-love from all the Liverpool and Man City and Arsenal fans. I'm getting it. Don't worry, my phone was full. I left it in my car and I was still going through message number 397. But yeah, what can we do? There was good football this weekend. Bad result for United, as we know. But I mean, you saw Spurs come to the fore.
Yeah, Laff will be in his element. I think he'll take a week sabbatical.
Yeah, and your side get a winning in Fergie time.
Oh, please don't talk to me about
Fergie
that.
time. So
92% of time in their half of the field, and we can't score a goal.
They're getting like United. They can't just finish it off anyway. That's the way it goes. And it's getting interesting now. You know, Man City look like they were odds-on favourite to win the league now. They've taken a bit of a stumble now, so things just start shuffling around a bit.
And this weekend you got Liverpool, I think. Boys.
This is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's going to be.
This is going to be a nightmare.
I think you should take a holiday.
We're going to go through it. We'll go through it. See what happens. Yeah, it's going to be.
Just talking about our favourite nation, the Australians. We gave them a proper hiding this weekend.
Yeah, the cricket.
We gave them 4 from 4.
Yeah, 100%.
You know that.
Now the cricket was very impressing. Quinton de Kock on. Was it Thursday?
Yeah, Friday.
It was
Brilliant.
absolutely brilliant to watch. And then he went out a bit cheaply the next game, but Faf came to the party and smacked him around as well. But I think we've got their measure with the cricket at the moment, and the rugby. If they can just score a few tries, maybe it'll make.
We've got to get an hour and a half to score a few tries. I thought we were the luckiest side I've ever seen to win the game.
And get all 15 points or whatever.
And you know the 4th one was that beat the Australians.
No.
Hank McGregor, the paddler.
Oh, that's right, correct. Yes,
yeah, he
100%.
gave them a proper hiding too.
6-love, yeah.
So, good luck to all your sheep shearers down there. You got big problems. We're going to go and have a look at 3 to follow.
And they are off in the Travers. Flower Alley is the winner.
His dad, Distorted Humor, he's probably one of his best sons at stud.
I'll have another. Wins the Derby.
I'll have another in the Preakness.
Lilacs and Lace, 48-1 upset.
He's just a big, strong, leggy horse.
Well, let's have a look at our 3 to follow. But before we get into these 3, because the one was a reserve runner, unfortunately our Dakota went on the blink. Raymond Spielberg tells us that there was terrible storms here on Durban on Thursday, and so no Dakota. So we weren't able to pick up the one that we think that you should know about, and that's Orchard Island from Maritzfontein and Wilgerbos bred it. It's a Silvano filly out of Illa Grande, beautifully bred. You know the family, Kev.
Yeah.
That ran second on Thursday. Next time that runs, you can be with it. I'm sorry we got no replay, but that was one of our 3 to follow.
It'll be interesting to have a look too. I'll have a look. I'll get back in the archives and have a look at its run. But that's the Illa de Victoria family.
Absolutely, absolutely. And she ran a cracking good race. So let's go and have a look at the 3 that we've got footage of. And we go to the first one. Vaal on Saturday, they had the big heritage race meeting. Let's go and look at Bush Pilot in the first race. Kev?
Yeah, drawn 10. Comes out a little bit sluggish, James, and to the left, bumping 1 or 2 horses. But he's not far off the pace now. You can see him. I was just looking at him, if he's pulling or not, or the guy's trying to get him in behind horse. But I mean, he's got its head sideways, left and right. This is Chase Mougine on the horse. But it's in the clear there now, galloping. Actually, you'll see it when they get a little bit closer, when they come through the 400. A beautiful action horse.
Yeah, the horse in front is the winner. Stephen Moffat's horse, Diablo Canyon, and this horse in Dave Shaw's colours in the orange is now just behind it. It's got a big white stripe on its head.
Yeah, he's got a lovely action, James. You can actually see it there now. He looks like he actually changes his legs a few times. You don't know if he's a 4-year-old having his first run, so he must have had some sort of a problem in his career. But you'll see him side on now. He's got a real nice elastic sort of action, and the guys picks him up now to try and get him into the race. I think it's a little bit sharp for him, James. Would you say? I would say wants a little bit further.
Yeah, definitely looking for further, but you know, good introduction this was, and he's by Judd Pot, out of a Badgerland mare. There's plenty of stamina. He comes on the outside now, and now he just starts getting the hang of it, but Diablo Canyon's gone. Yeah,
100%. The winner's always been going a little bit easier, but running on very strongly. I think a very worthy one to follow next time over a bit further, a mile or something.
Absolutely. He looks like a horse that will give the Shores a lot of fun. Good luck to them. We're going to move on. That horse was bred by Fastfontein, and he was quite an expensive National Yearling Sales horse. So, as Kev says, he must have had some problem, but he's certainly worth having a look at next time he runs. The next one we should going to have a look at is the third race at the Vaal, and Alec Laird, never really hard on his first timers. This horse, there was money for him. Romy's Boy. Let's go and have a look at him at the start. 6 furlongs, drawn 12.
Like you said, there was a bit of money for him. Comes out very nicely, James. I quite like it. You know, for a first time of Alec Laird's, just slots in behind them and just waits. I mean, when I used to ride for Alec, he always used to say, the first time out is a hell of an experience for these babies. You must just really look after them now. And you can just see he's just giving it a pure educational run, sitting him in behind the horse, teaching that he's going to have to get a little bit of dust in his eyes. But I mean, they're clappers up front there, James. They're really going quick.
Yeah, he's got those famous the Van der Pfeiffer's colours on that were worn to victory by Louis the King. So you'll see him now. He moves into the firing line now. He's actually probably in front now, but just greenness gets the better of him. And the horse that beats him, we picked up as a horse to follow last time, Tuzra. He's a very nice horse, Captain Al. And they pull well clear of the field. Watch Tuzra goes away from him, but he sticks to his guns, this horse.
Yeah, for a first timer for Alec Laird, you can only know it can only improve lengths. Lovely action horse as well. Look at him. And like you say, the third horse is 3-4 lengths behind him. 2 very nice ones to follow, James. Maybe if they run on the same day, we get the double.
Absolutely, that's what we're looking for. Romy's Boy, bred by Klavervleis Stud, and we move on to the next one. We go to Scottsville, and let's go and have a look at the first race at Scottsville on Sunday. Here we go. This is Seattle Skyline. Seattle, bred by Klavervleis as well, owned by Bruce Ferreira. It's got the orange colours. He's still pretty close to last at the moment, about 7 off the
He comes out quickly. Another trainer that doesn't really closest to the race his first time. One like Mr. Barkley, he's also just an easy run and run with a stable opinion and the Eustace colour is actually drawn right. So I'm happy to say just like that Scottsville seems to be fading away. Is the guy winning all over. I mean, just wins in the middle of the course. Fantastic. We watching is in the middle of the field of the colours. Very. You'll see Jacobson now gives it what would get it to concentrate. And by the time he gives it there one crack, but the winner's on his right, on our right hand side, Anton Marks on in the Eustace colours. But
it does him there.
Yeah, all over the show. Very green, changing legs, look very unbalanced over there. But gets going now, gets into the clear run. But yeah, that's good. It's also a fantastic run, I think. Anton Marks maybe thinking for it.
Well, he's by Mambo in Seattle out of a Fort Wood mare. There's no doubt there's stamina in the pedigree, and you'd think that these three you'd be able to, in the right races next time, they'd all be able to win. And as we say, them in the right races next time, but remember, all as well, she's really worth having a look at. We're going to move on and have a look at Blast from the Past. We've got the 2014 Cape Guineas, and a master trainer at his best again.
Open, soft falling rain, pulling clear, soft falling rains won the SA Nursery by 3.
Racing in the 2000 Guineas. Gates fly and they're racing in the Godolphin Mile.
They're off and racing.
Weight didn't matter, class tells. Soft Falling Rain, much too good. Soft Falling Rain, an impressive Guineas winner. Soft Falling Rain is drawing clear.
He's made it 7 out of 7 by winning here today.
But it's Soft Falling Rain who is powering away. We'll see out the mining style. A high-class performer wins the Nay of Joel Stakes.
They racing from that 1600 metre mark in the Grand Parade Cape Guineas. Slow of the mark was Balance Sheet, and not that well away too was along the inside Zambezi River. Getting away quickly was Light the Light, and Brutal Force is up there with the speed. Then comes Captain Alfredo the White Cap. Harry Sun pushing forward. King Vault 3 deep on the move outside of runners. Next in running on the rail comes Imperial Gold, and Act of War is going to settle about 8 lengths off that leader. 3/4 back on the inside we find Zambezi River, then it's Arniston, Parachute Man. A length and a half further back we find Balance Sheet and Charles Litton. ML Jet is content to race back, one from last, and Sheer Trouble is racing at the end of a stretched out field. 16 lengths cover them through the middle of the bend towards the 800 in the Grand Parade Cape Guineas. Light the Light is in front from Brutal Force in second. Then we find Captain Alfredo, King Vault, Harry's Son. Act of War is creeping closer. Then comes Imperial Gold. Arniston, Zambezi River corners 10 off the leader. Next we got Balance Sheet, Parachute Man, Charles Litton, Sheer Trouble. ML Jet whipped them in as they fell in for the run to the judge. Head towards the 400, Light the Light. Harry's Son is quick to move in towards the inside. Act of War is into the clear, deepest of all flashing. Between runners we've got Zambezi River. Down the inside Harry's Son, but Act of War is coming out full of running, and Act of War now gets driven into the lead from King Vault. Harry's Son is towards the inside, but Act of War with 100 metres left to go has kicked for home, and he's powering home to win the Grand Parade Cape Guineas. Act of War, hands and heels from...
Well, there you go, Act of War. Absolutely doddled in.
Yeah, James, Joey Ramsden, as we spoke off camera, his statistics in the Group 1s and the horses he's had are unbelievable, and this horse is no exception. I mean, Harry's Son was in the race there. He's in France now. He's travelling around the world, been to Dubai. I mean, there's some top horses there, and he destroyed them, one going away.
Yeah, he's at stud now, and I think that he might easily make it at stud. You know, he's a very nice horse.
Yeah, I really think he will.
Okay, well, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back with the Plum of the Week.
Them towards the 700 metre marker. Kilmokia's right there. Silent Flyer with a good position. They are followed by Leading Lady, Bye Bye Baby, Earhart. Over on the inside, April in Paris. Tesla gets a couple of niggles, and Malhammer comes to the outside of the track and starts to put in a claim now. 300 metres to go though. Simona still goes. Kilmokia's trying to put on the pressure. Malhammer's under big pressure, and it's Simona the leader. Kilmokia's back in second position, but Simona's going on strongly though, and it's Simona coming home to win well. Still very green, but Simona won it. Second will go to Kilmokia. Third place, Hallowed Spring ran on, and then Malhammer.
Well, if you're on the race course, you should have got the graph, because as soon as Dennis and Gail Evans arrived at the races, you knew the story was on. You could have got 3-1, 33-10 at the outset at the opening betting with Interbet. You ended up being able to get 15-10. This horse started even money, and it absolutely looked like a blinder. Its first run was cracking and looked like the business.
Yeah, it ran a very good race, and like you say, they put the money on like they knew the result, and they were right. Never ever looked in trouble. Always right there in front, just about all the way, and then at the finish. And well done to Mace. His horses have turned, and he's giving the kids a lot of support, and like you say, Mr. and Mrs. Evans are there. You don't phone Mr. Evans and say, come to the races for ice cream. You come watch your horses win.
That's absolutely right, yeah. Yeah. He had a winner last week as well. But this was the one Interbet podcast. If you listen to that, and if you've got an Interbet account, that's what you should be listening to, because that's where you get all the information from. We're going to move on and have a look at current affairs.
Yes. If you love soccer and you play the tote, you won't believe what Interbet has to offer you, or the excitement of tote betting on your computer or your cell phone. It's simple. Choose your teams and your bets, work out what your combinations will cost, see how big the pool is, and place your bets. You can even track your bet live as it happens and get updates on your progress. It's all the fun of the tote on your phone. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now at www.interbet.co.za and you could be a winner.
Right, the graduate of the week, 260,000 Rand purchase from the Suncoast Sale, Irish Pride. We're going to be having a look at this one just now when he won the first ever World Sports Betting Grand Heritage at the Vaal. This was the 28-runner race, one of the 4 winners of the day for Janse van Vuren. He had a great day. We showed Doezra earlier on. Bred by Maritz Fontaine, this son of Ideal World, out of a Fort Wood mare. It's the cross that Maritz Fontaine bought Ideal World for. So fantastic to see this horse come to the fore.
Yeah, the studs really, Mary Slack and them, they're really producing top class horses, and I see they've been overseas buying again. So yeah, I love to see those black colours, or the Oppenheimer's colours in the winner's box.
Black and gold, black and yellow.
Black with a red cap.
Yeah.
All the Oppenheimer's colours in the winner's box any time of the day. Really, they're great colours, and they were very good to me when I was.
Well, the dam was a half sister to Marinaresco, a 3-part sister to Marinaresco. So there's plenty of black type there. Let's go and have a look at this Grand Heritage. We're going to pick them up at the start.
Grand Heritage, they all set. 27 runners start thundering down the Vaal Straight, and the starter got them in a pretty good line. Humidor's one of the first to respond, right up the middle of the course. Leclos shows his customary pace. Then Donny G over towards the extreme inside as Manzin. Raise the Red just off the leaders, now working its way towards the middle of the course. Analyze This was further back, then came Celtic Captain. Awesome Adam and Arctica travelled together. Chapardo's found the outside rail. Then Pivotal Pursuit directly behind Celtic Captain in the white blinkers. Further back to front rank, Move Feeders out after those. Thrust is a good 6 lengths off the leader. Miracle Bureau's about midfield. Then came Shepherd 1. Netflix is out after them. Belenos and bulleting home. They towards the inside. Persian Rug felt the squeeze. Raise the Red is out after those. Then came King's Archer, who's got plenty to get past Alexa. And towards the back of the field is Belenos and Urgent Fury can't go with them. They get to the final 500 metres. Humidor over Analyze This. Arctic has now been asked to run. Donny G, Lunar Approach, they together. Irish Prime between runners. Might have a say as well. Chapardo's towards the outside. 300 metres left to go. It's Analyze This. Analyze This has taken over the lead. Lunar Approach is right there. Irish Pride, front rank on the premises. Analyze This. Analyze This in front of Lunar Approach and Irish Pride. Irish Pride finishes hard, and Irish Pride is the winner of the Grand Heritage. Irish Pride beat front rank. Third goes the way of Lunar Approach. Raise the Red. Analyze This. King's Archer.
Well, there you go, Irish Pride, and what a day for the Werners. Superb win, Janse van Vuren. He's one of the new kids on the block.
But he's a gentleman too. Very nice guy. And Gavin Larena riding at the top of his game, James.
He rode 5.
He rode 5 on the day, but I mean, you just watch him now. He's riding with so much confidence, and I mean, you've seen him. I mean, he's been to Hong Kong, won the big race. He's been to Royal Ascot, and he's ridden in the Shergar Cup. He's ridden winners there, so he's got the experience. He knows exactly what he's doing, and you can just see it's coming there. But full credit to the commentator. Yeah. He got it quite right.
Alistair was good, wasn't he?
Yeah, till the last 5 strides. I think he was running out of horses' names, but well done to Alistair. It was world class. But a great day's racing. I'm reading a lot on the social media, and it was a huge success. So well done to Pumalela for bringing something like that. 28 runners or 27 runners in a race. It's fantastic. And as we said earlier, the quartet paid 280,000, I think. You had to find the first 4.
You had to be a soothsayer.
Yeah, you'll have to dream the numbers. Yeah. So it was fantastic. Well done to them. It was great for racing.
Okay, well, that was a great race here in South Africa, but there are a couple of great races overseas, and we're going to go and have a look at the Awesome Again Stakes, because we told you last week California Chrome was stepping out again. Let's go and have a look at this absolute superstar. Demolish the best horses around.
And a little bit fidgety. Racing. California Chrome and Dortmund begin on terms with each other. California Chrome now taking the lead from Dortmund, and they kick away by 4 lengths to win the space on the inside of Soifet, and Hard Ace is a couple of lengths last of all. California Chrome is the leader. Dortmund being cast in a more positive role today, sticks with him, and they're just a neck apart. A generous pace swinging by the 7/8 pole on the turn out of the stretch. Win the space is back 6 lengths away, third on the inside of Soifet. Hard Ace is bringing up the rear. California Chrome from Dortmund at the 3/4 pole. 7 lengths to win the space. Soifet together, and Hard Aces 4 lengths last. California Chrome, Dortmund 1-2 under the back stretch. A half length separates them, and they are a long way clear of their rivals. It's almost 10 lengths now to win the space, and Soifet and Hard Aces bringing up the rear. California Chrome being kept to his task by Dortmund. Dortmund with blinkers on for the first time since his debut win almost 2 years ago. Now at the half-mile pole, California Chrome has put a length and a quarter on him. California Chrome getting away from Dortmund, running into the far turn. 12 lengths to win the space. Soifet has had enough already, and Hard Aces continues to watch the whole thing unfold at the 5/16 pole, and California Chrome scurries clear by 2.5 lengths. Dortmund in second position. Win the space 6 lengths back third at the quarter pole, and it's California Chrome. Espinosa with a good hold of him at the top of the lane. Dortmund being scrubbed along in second. Win the space 3 lengths away. They come to the 8th pole. It's California Chrome still being nursed along. He's 3 lengths to Dortmund and 2 more lengths to win the space. But the world's top-ranked racehorse is marching inexorably toward the Breeders' Cup. California Chrome on the cusp of a perfect season is awesome again in the Awesome Again. Dortmund ran second. Win the space was third.
Well, I don't know if there's a racehorse around that's going to beat this horse. Breeders' Cup looks like it's at his mercy.
He's got to be the shortest favourite in the Breeders' Cup ever, I think. Impossible. As you say, the fractions. Dortmund, they put blinkers on him to try and chase him and go with him. He just destroyed him. I mean, he's a special horse, and he must probably got the World Cup in mind for next year as well.
Well, they say Breeders' Cup, that $12 million race at Gulfstream, you know, where you buy your entry in, and then the World Cup.
This horse could be
all go to stud.
Yeah.
And then they're not sure what they're going to do. But they say they might race him again next year, which I think is fantastic.
I think it's brilliant. He's loving it. He's not over-raced. He's the highest-rated horse in the world. He's really a special horse. And California Chrome, don't forget that name.
It's 22.78 the first 400.
On dirt.
On dirt. And then 1:09 and a touch for the first 6 furlongs. You just don't get fractions like that, do you?
Not on the dirt. Not on the dirt. It's some serious animal, that James. But yeah, I love to watch it. I love to see champions like it. And the crowds follow him, and they all cheer him on. They're not all looking to, I hope he gets beat. They love it. They want to see him win. So yeah, fantastic.
Well, then we move on to the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe day, and just before we get into the Arc de Triomphe, it was a very special day as far as the Prix de l'Abbé was concerned, because Sir Mark Prescott won it, old friend of ours, and I did my apprenticeship with him, with Luke Morris, with a filly called Marsha by acclamation, and Mark Prescott, one of the best trainers around. Kev, do you know him? Do you ever come across him?
Yeah, no, I knew him when I was in England with Mark, and yeah, it's a serious Group 1 to win for sprinters in France. Yeah, so yeah, well done to them. The Irish
who won the Prix de l'Abbé was the horse that stands here. Var, yeah.
He had the course record 54. No, it was under 55.
55 seconds.
Yeah, Frankie Dettori, but yeah, This is when I rode in the Prix de la Bay, get my tongue around it, on that grey horse of Sean Terry's. Was at the other course. It was at
the
Longchamp. They were at Shanty this time. So I don't know if that could have made the effect, but they said it wasn't a full 5 furlongs, and we went through false starts and everything. I mean,
you had a miserable day, didn't you? That day.
Everybody said false start. I said I'm not waiting for nobody. There was, I think, 26 of us, and 23 of us went.
Yeah.
And they had the race after the last race. By that time,
it was finished.
She was gone. Yeah.
The interesting thing about Arc Day as well was the Prix de l'Opera was won by Speedy Boarding, who's trained by James Fanshawe. Now, James Fanshawe was one of Mark Prescott's assistant
trainers. So the guys came to the party on the day. Yeah. Now they're very good trainers over there, James, as you know, with very good horses.
Fabulous to watch. Yeah. Just talking about Harry's son before we get into this, and same jurisdiction. Well, she ran no type of race. I didn't think Harry's son ran a bad race at all. First run for nearly
since March. World Cup day. Yeah.
Very hard to bring a horse back in a Group 1 like that. He didn't get beaten. He ran 6th, and
he wasn't disgraced, but I'm sure he'll come on leaps and bounds from that. I don't know what Lef's plan was with him. Where's he going now? But I'm sure they'll find a race for him. But a hell of a hard task, like you say. First run since March, taking on that caliber of horse.
Best 7 furlong horses in the world that ran first and second.
100%. So I mean, a hard task. I would have maybe ducked and gone to one of those Wednesday meetings and get a bit of money. But I mean,
Wednesday meeting of Fontainebleau.
Yeah. Half the stake money, or 3rd or 10th, but
10th, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on and go and have a look at the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe.
13.0, 12 to 1 chance. That's 1 foot in heaven going in. Just about ready, all in. And we're set, 16 go for the 26 running of the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, 2,400 metres. And quickly into stride there was Highland Reel, also Verdeverney, the pacemaker for Harzand. Well, there as indeed is Postponed. Silver Wave is following those through. New Bay is back behind the leading group, and also far side there's Order of St George. So at the moment, Highland Reel and Order of St George setting the pace up front. Postponed is in the yellow jacket, black spots. Then we've got Verdeverney, followed by Harzand, the Grey Gatsby nearest to us. The Japanese raider Makahiki Christophe Lemaire is pretty prominent as well. Then comes Left Hand in the Batimer brother colours, followed by Silver Wave, New Bay, Migwan, Olivier Pellier. Found is on the inside there, the filly, the big white face of Talismanic. Then comes Suljan Saga running the arc again, 1 foot in heaven, and Savoir Vivre just bringing up the rear as they head down the far side. So it's it's Harzand out in front, Verdeverney out, Harzand out in front. From in second place, Order St George. Then comes the Grey Gatsby, followed through by Highland Reel. Postponed is settled in about 5th position at the moment. Then comes behind those we've got on the inside Found. Then comes Left Hand, followed on the behind those is Makahiki as they make their way down the back straight here. So Verdeverney out in front then in the red sash, leads by a couple of lengths or so to Order St George in second position. The Grey Gatsby 3rd, Postponed 4th, Highland Reel 5th, Left Hand 6th, and the Japanese raider Makahiki is in about 7th position at the moment as they make their turn out of the back straight and head towards home. So it's Verdeverney still taking the pace in the race by 2 lengths to Order St George. Postponed travelling pretty well in 3rd. The Great Gatsby's on the inside of those. Then came Order of St George, followed by Found, Suljan Saga, Highland Reel as they turn into towards the home straight, and there's less than 600 metres, 3 furlongs to go. It's Verdeverney, Alexis Badella pacemaker from Found, who now starts to challenge the filly. Postponed is running on. Then comes Highland Reel, Order of St George, Suljan Saga is still well there. Then comes behind those 1 foot in heaven. New Bay is trying to pick up, but it's Found. She's been second so many times this year, and Found is out in front under Ryan Moore in the 2016 Arc. Highland Reel is going to second place. It could be a 1-2 for Aidan O'Brien. It could be a 1-3 with Roger St George in 3rd, and Suljan Saga is back in 4th place, and it's a bunch for 5th. So Found has been second on so many occasions, has finally got ahead in front once again.
Well, as the commentator said, Found has been second on so many occasions. She's actually second in 9 Group 1s, Found.
Yeah, can you imagine if she'd won all those, what she must be worth? But I mean, as you said, Galileo, his first Arc, and Galileo first, second and third. I mean, some serious stallion. Aidan O'Brien, what else can we say? And Ryan Moore. I mean, you look every week, if there's a group race somewhere in the world, Ryan Moore is on it and he's in the winner's box. It's unbelievable. He's got to be by far one of the most
You
successful.
rode against him. His judgment seems to be his serious asset. He's so cool and he seems to be absolutely focused on what he's doing.
He's an absolute true professional. He's had a lot of injuries and had to come back from them, but he's just brilliant. He just puts those horses. I mean, he had that filly in such a good spot there, and just up the inside, gone, and that's it. Race over. Well done to them. Well done to the whole team.
Yeah, it was a fabulous race, and as always, you get the champion coming through to win the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Interesting, 5 out of the last 6 arcs have been won by fillies.
That's true, yeah.
And in the 80s, I think Dahlia and all those horses, there were a whole lot of fillies that won in the 80s as well. So it's quite interesting. They get their 6 allowance, but they seem to be able to run with the best of them. And obviously, Treve won 3 arcs as well, in that bunch.
Yeah, when I was there, Sakava won with Christoph Sumian. Yeah, I mean, brilliant filly. Like, I didn't really know that. That's quite a fascinating record, because I mean, there's some serious contenders in that last race, in that arc, yesterday's arc, and a lot of them ran below average. Japanese horse,
the Japanese horse, yeah.
The horse that's won both the derbies, and they ran dismal.
Postponed, no time to race.
No, they were.
I think they all had setbacks, and I'm not sure if a horse doesn't have a setback, doesn't affect him.
And also a hard season. They've had travelling and everything.
Just quickly before we wrap, Marcus Jooster, Mayfair's Speculators, their team won the Group 2 at the ARC meeting on the Friday, with a Monson filly called Juliet Rose, Prix de Royale, which is and a very good Group 2 for fillies. So it's fantastic to see the team winning out there.
No, nice to see his colours out there. He's a big player, not just in South Africa but in the world now. So well done to them.
We'll be back with Bobby Favey. Well, every now and again we come across characters in the racing game who are not only real big fans of horse racing, but they've been at the top of their profession doing something else. And one of those people is Bobby Favey. Now, why we've got Bobby here is that he's got a new book, and I'm going to hold this book up that he's written, and this is a must for your Christmas shopping for your friends. You can buy it on Amazon, you can buy it online. It's called The Way It Was, Bobby Favey Senior. Well, he's bloody senior. So let's introduce you to those of you who don't know Bobby Favey. Bobby, I've known you for a very long time. You've always been mad about racing.
James, I've always loved racing from the day I was 6 years of age when I rode my first donkey on Durban Beach. My late father loved racing, and been very fortunate over the years to have met a lot of incredible people racing, including your father, who I gave a lot of golf lessons.
Yeah. Didn't help him.
I don't know if it didn't help him. He always had a smile on his face. But I've had horses with him and Brown.
Yeah.
I've had horses with Tony Riverland, some winners. I've always loved it.
Going back to the beginning, your father Jock was a great professional golfer, and he won the PGA.
He won the PGA 4 times.
Yeah.
He was runner-up in the South African Open twice, like I did.
Yeah.
And many other tournaments. He was a great coach and a character of note. Really a character of note.
And he liked the horses.
Loved the racing. Oh, he loved the racing. And he was good. In fact, at one stage he won so many jackpots, they used to call him Jock. His name was Jock Favey. They used to call him Jockpot.
Jackpot Verwey.
That was him.
And so that was instilled in you as a youngster. You know, your school days, did you sort of...
Well, yeah, I grew up in the South. I went to Forest High School, and my dad was the golf pro at a golf course called, in those days, Virginia Park, which became South Downs. And Gary lived with us when he first turned pro. He lived with us for 4 years. We shared a room. I mean, he really was my idol in those days, of note. And he always said he was going to be a champion. And I used to bow to him. I mean, he really was incredible in what he did and the things he did. You know, he's a bit controversial, as you'll read in my book, and he's not going to like us some of the things, but it's the truth. You know, so, yeah, but in those days, I suppose I started playing a lot of golf when he started dating my sister. She was a scratch handicapper, and I used to, little boy, 12-year-old, tag along, want to play with the older sister and Gary. And but of course, in those days, what happened, I was at school. But like I say, we grew up in the South, and I went to Forest High, and sometimes my father said, I can't pick you up for an hour or two, and I used to go up to the stables where Boetie Huckle.
Turfentine, top of Turfentine.
Turfentine, yeah. It was about 2 blocks from where Boetie Huckle stable Flash On, which won the July. And I used to sit and pat the horses and talk to him. Some of the trainers got very friendly with guys like Tiger Wright, Morris Passmore, Johnny Westwater, who I'm very friendly today with Gary, who's just a fantastic man.
Great guy, Gary, isn't he?
He is my idol. I love him.
Well, Johnny Westwater, just chatting about him, he was one of my idols when I was a real youngster. I thought he was the nicest, most honest, open man you've ever met, and a great rider.
Great rider. My dad gave him golf lessons for quite a while and met him on a couple of occasions. Yeah, he was a great rider.
Did you ever come across Ricky Ginsberg? He was up at the top of Turfentine there as well. Howard Ginsberg is
Howard Ginsberg I knew well. I knew Ricky reasonably well. Ricky was very friendly with a guy called David Greenstone, who was best man at my wedding at one time, who died a number of years ago. And they pulled some big coups. I mean, some big coups.
Okay, let's get back to the racing, because it's interesting how you started in this whole racing. Vivian ended up marrying Gary, okay, right, which helped him no end, because I tell you, I think Gary would never be in the golfer he was without Vivian.
Yeah, I think when he lived with us for the 4 years, his mother had died when he was quite young, and his father was, how can I explain, you know, Gary hates, but his nickname in those days was Whiskey Place. Obviously, he liked to have a few pots, which Gary doesn't like, so he changed the name to Laughing Harry. But what is, you know, that's the way it is. That's why I wrote the book the way it was. But anyway, he was a great character, Gary Player, for Harry Player. And yeah, Gary, I remember the first time Gary played in the South African Open was at Swartkop Golf Club. He was living with his South Downs, and there were something like 75 players playing. 40 made the cut, and he missed the cut. He was a golf pro. And that night, we sat down for dinner, and my dad said, "Where's Gary?" I said, "No, he's outside by this big tree at South Downs Golf Club. He's crying his eyes." "What do you mean crying his eyes?" He's crying his eyes. He practiced like hell, and he missed the cut, you know.
On his own course.
On his home course. I mean, Ray Charles could have made the cut. That's how bad the players were in those days. And my dad went out, and he gave him a couple of flat-handers. He said, "You want to marry my daughter? You better practice a hell of a lot harder than what you are practicing." The next year, he won. I mean, have you ever seen a guy make an improvement like that? It was a bit like that. What was that great racehorse that couldn't win a maiden, then won the July? Boart?
Yeah, Boart, yeah.
I think it was Boart.
Far Lap was a great story, you know. A horse that was no good and ended up making it to the top.
And the following year, he won at Durban Country Club. He won the South African, beat a guy called Bruce Cater. Quite a funny story, because he didn't have any clean clothes, so he borrowed a pair of trousers of mine, which in those days was about 3 sizes too big. He put a belt on and put a sweater over it. It was Durban in December. Can you imagine what the temperature was? About 400 degrees. It was very funny.
How did he find you to borrow me? You were
we were rooming together.
You were the best dressed man on the golf course.
Well, in the low price field. Yeah. That was, well, I played in my first South African. I was about 15 at Durban Country Club, and then we roomed together at some place in Durban. You know.
And okay, so you're involved with all these boys up in Forest Hills and your early days. Yeah. Were you a punter?
No, not really. Well, when I left school, I started working for a guy called Max Greenstone, earning a grand sum of £35 a month. I'd have a pound and a horse this way or that way, but I was too busy playing golf. You know, it's even like I never ever learned to dance, because all guys were going to parties on Fridays and Saturday nights. I was going to sleep early because I had to play 36 holes the next day. So you know, even to this day, I'm a poor dancer, but you can make believe a little bit.
I hear you pulled a few moves on a couple of chicks on the dance floor. You know.
But Yeah, but of course then I started playing golf overseas, and I went to Europe in 1958 as an amateur, and I've got to tell you this quick story. I walked on
Don't be quick, just we need to know the story.
This is a nice story. Walked onto the tee on the Monday for a practice round. I had my little trolley because I couldn't afford a caddy. I mean, amateurs, golf was very expensive in Paris. Playing at a golf course called Saint-Germain, just on the outskirts of Paris. And as I got to the first tee, there was this elderly man and this woman standing next to the tee, and he said to me, do you mind if we walk with you? I said, no, that would be great. The company, so as I headed off, he said, can I pull your cart? So I said, yeah, it would be lovely for you to pull my cart.
Even greater.
Great. We got to the green. I was just off the green. I said, please, sir, will you hold the pin for me? So, yeah, sure. So he went and held the pin. I chipped it next to the hole. And this went on for the next 9 holes. And spoke to him and spoke to her. At the end of the night, he said, can I buy you a Coke? I said, oh, that would be great. Walked inside. Coke in those days in Paris was £1. I mean, £1 for a Coke. It was just ludicrous. And we sat down. It ought to be a double Coke. Drank the Coke. And they said, well, good luck for the golf job. We might get there, we might not, but the very best of luck, we'll be looking for your name. And Maitre D walked up to me and said, you're mixing with elite, aren't you? The Duke of Windsor and Wallace Simpson. For those who don't know, the Duke of Windsor had just abdicated the throne. He was the King of England.
The king that abdicated and went to France to live.
Yeah. And they didn't get divorced, didn't get married because she was the divorcee and it was against the rules.
Well, but you missed out on opportunity here. You could have had this guy carrying your bag for the tournament. You know, you would have been the only professional that ever had the Duke of Windsor carrying your bag. Can you imagine that?
I'm the only professional who's ever told the king to hold the pin. That I do know. Good story.
Yeah, great story.
And I also won the leading amateur in the tournament that year as well.
So you're an amateur at that stage?
At that time, yeah, 17.
How long did it take you to realize you're going to make a living out of this?
The following year.
Following year.
18. I just turned, at the end of my 18th year, I turned pro, yeah.
And you won tournaments all over the world?
I was lucky, Joe, but, James, because I was never a long hitter. I learned on the Kensington golf course, which is a short, narrow course. I never had a great swing, but I always had a great short game. My father taught me how to make a score. Huh. And that's what the game's all about, how to make a score. You know, scramble here, hold a putt there. But of course, I hit the ball straight, so hit a lot of greens. And from the very first professional tournament I ever played in was at Swartkops, funny enough, where Dale Hayes' father was the Ottawa Hayes. And Eric Moore actually won the tournament, and Ottawa Hayes, Bobby Locke, and I tied for second and shot behind. So my very first tournament, I made money. So I always made a lot of cuts and made money. But of course, very sad because the money in those days was, I mean, really bad. I won the German Open Championship in 1961 in Hamburg. I won £200. You know, people say, "Oh, that was a lot of." Whoa, £200. Today, first prize $1 million. You know, and I'm a little bit disappointed in particularly the United States PGA, because they are such a wealthy organization, and there are a lot of guys out there who were the forerunners to the golf tours, who today, guys older than me, 80, 85, who really are living on the dole. They've got no money. And for the PGA to turn around, how many can there be? 10, 15, 20? Give them $5,000 a month, pay their medical bill. They're not going to last forever. And then they're going to die. And it's very sad that some of the top players who are fantastic guys in their charities, they give to their charities. I mean, a guy like Jordan Spieth, they signed a contract with Coca-Cola for $50 million. They're not aware of the older guys who were the I mean, I can even remember in 1960, I was 19. We used to travel 600 miles to go and play at home. Our first prize was $800. You stayed in a motel for $4 a night and ate meals for 50 cents to make way. You didn't make. You made a living, and you played the game because you loved it. And you had to entertain these amateurs and pro-ams because this was the build-up to the golf tour. And
it seemed like television changed the whole golf. Television and 3 players, obviously. Arnold Palmer, who we lost last week. Gary Player, your brother-in-law, and Jack Nicklaus. Those 3 guys changed the game, didn't they?
They were the start of really making big money, yes. Got big quickly.
And it did get big quick. But even so, you still, I know that you won the British Open, Senior British Open, 2001. I think your check was £31,000.
£25,000. I won it in 1991.
Yeah.
But of course, people say, well, that was the biggest tournament you ever won. Well, the biggest tournament I ever won was on the US Tour. It was in San Jose in California in 1965. It was 24. I won, I think, $9,000. But which in those days was 6,000 rand.
Yeah.
You know.
And then you ended up winning a big tournament in Japan.
I won a nice tournament in Japan. That was actually probably the biggest prize I ever won. I think I won about £30,000.
How did you end up getting to Japan? Not easy to get
there. No, they had a special tournament run by a company called Duran, who made sort of health plasters and that type of thing. And they invited, I think, 6 or 8 guys off the European money list, and I was in the top 3 or 4, and we got to play. Then we played a peat dye course just outside of Tokyo. James, I tell you what, I've never played a golf course that tough in my life, ever. They had 3 holes with 3/4 of the field, couldn't get across the water. So they had to actually make special tees where the guys could get over them, otherwise they couldn't finish.
You were one of them.
I was one of them, yeah.
Let's hold it there. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to look at the Magic Millions horse that won. There it is, Spring Hills. This is a beautifully bred son of Redout's Choice, who won very easily at the Vaal, and we think that this might be a very nice horse. But let's move on back to Bobby. Bobby, Japan. Had you ever been there before?
I've been there twice. I played in a tournament run by Fuji Grand Slam. I played a tournament there, which I didn't play very well, and then I played in this Duran Open, which I won, and it was just the Japanese people are incredible. I mean, when I won the tournament, I at a prize giving, obviously jacket and tie and very well dressed. There was a row of directors down either side of the what's name, and the guy had an interpreter and asked me a question, and I replied very quietly, spoke very softly because obviously they could understand. And then they give you 2 bags of rice for good luck for winning the tournament. I mean, yeah, probably weighed 500 pounds a bag.
How do you get those home with your golf bag?
I had 2 Japanese guys who helped me a lot, and I gave each one the bag, and it was they kept bowing. You know, you leave Japan, you've got a sore back, you bow so much. But it's actually quite an amazing story because they gave you so much stuff, golf clubs and shirts and trousers, and that when I left, I had 2 golf bags, which must have weighed 80 pounds each. I had the trophy, which was a beautiful trophy, and the guy said, "Well, you're going back to South Africa, they're going to charge you $10,000 excess baggage." So I said, no, now I've got a scheme. You see, now my scheming came to the fore. So I've got a glove, FootJoy golf club, I've got a box of Titleist balls, I've got a FootJoy cap, a pin cap, sorry. And I went to, had all my stuff on the trolley, and I said to the first woman, I said, "You play golf?" "No." About the 5th one, I said, "Yes, I play golf." My husband, I said, I'm doing a promotional deal, you see. I said, "Would you like this for a present?" You see, put the stuff on the bag, on the scale, checked me all the way through to Joburg, no excess baggage. That was the first win. But now, I get to Joburg International, now I've got to get through customs, and I have got a ton of stuff. Okay, so I go through to declare the red. I go, see the guy, I said, "Listen, I've got this trophy that I won in Japan. I want to know if I have to pay duty on this trophy." He didn't say anything about this stuff on the trolley. He says to me, "Did you win a lot of money?" I said, "Yes, I won a lot of money." So I won 30,000 pounds. I want to see the trophy. So I take the trophy out of the box. "Oh, that's good." Puts it back in the box. "Good luck, go." Got through customs.
Sometimes better to be honest. Talking about honesty, you've been controversial in your time. You had a few problems.
James, let me tell you something.
Everyone has these problems, but just talk to me about your personal problem.
I had a situation at Sun City one year where on this one particular house, I was playing with 2 guys, been on the golf course for about 8 hours, it had been raining, and this one particular hole, I hit my ball on the green about 20 foot from the hole, and I had to putt through a bad area, and because the rain had washed all the top dressing out, and instead of just putting out 2 balls, I moved the ball about 4 foot to the left, 2 putted, and then the one girl said, "You moved the ball half an inch nearer the hole." I said, "Half an inch?" Moved the ball 8 foot to the left, not half an inch closer. And they penalised me, and they disqualified me, and I had a penalty for 2 years.
And it's terrible because it's happened to some of the greatest golfers around. I remember Jim Furyk, I think he had a problem. Vijay Singh certainly had a problem. And it doesn't ever seem like the guy's actually trying to gain an advantage.
James, I'll put this. I've been playing golf for a long, long time, tournament golf, since I was about 15. And I can honestly and truthfully say, barring 1 or 2 guys, I've never ever played with some guys who didn't take advantage of the rules. Legally, illegally. I mean, you take the Tiger Woods, which is in the book, when he hit the ball behind the rock in Arizona. The rock weighed 2 tons, but it was movable. But he got 10 strong guys from the gallery to move the rock, hit the ball on the green, put the rock back. Now, To me, that's what I call legal cheating. There's an article in my book.
In your book?
Yeah. Because what about the guy 2 groups behind? He's got his wife and his dog. And he hits the ball there. He can't move the rock. So it's unfair.
I remember actually, and we've just watched the Ryder Cup. Obviously, you watched the Ryder Cup.
Oh, yeah, I watched all of it. Yeah.
And you see guys getting drops from places that you think to yourself, well, because there's an advertising board 100 yards in front of him, and there's no way he's going to hit it. He's going to hit it over it or around it or whatever.
Well, this is one of the complaints I've always had. I said, if a minus in your line, if you hit it and you hit it, you get a drop. If you don't hit it, so be it. But also these guys put the advertising boards on them. They generally put them 30 yards from the green on the left and the right for TV. But put them behind the green. Yeah. And guys get a lot of drops. I mean, sure. But again, one of the big complaints in world golf is how long it takes to play. I mean, every professional caddy in the world, caddying for a professional, doesn't matter what tour it is, he's got his book of yardages and they measure it, the pro measures, they do the boom, boom, boom. Make lasers legal. It'll take an hour around off the game. What's the difference?
Well, as you know, I love golf and I play a bit of golf. But the one thing that gets me is that it seems, and it must be for television, like while the other guy's putting and getting himself ready, no one makes any effort to get themselves ready. In fact, what happens is that as soon as he's putted or he's played his shot, then they get out the yardage book, so they've got the television cameras on them. Is that because they've got to appease the sponsors?
No, I don't know, James. But I had a very big fight with one of our top South African players on the T1 in the tournament. I got up, hit my ball on the green, and as I walked away, next thing, he took his glove out of his pocket, he started to put... Now you're putting your glove on.
Yeah.
The glove should have been on. Your peg should have been on. You should have been ready to go. I mean, what's going on here? Bad. But you impressed me. I heard that you qualified to play in one of the senior tournaments in America. That's impressive because it's not easy, as you know.
It's impossible. It was impossible.
It's impossible.
Monday qualifying, that's what I did for 3 months. It was very difficult.
I missed my tour card, my senior tour card, by a couple of shots, and I went one day in Philadelphia to pre-qualify. Flew all the way from Houston, got there at 3 o'clock in the morning, had to get in the tee the next day, walked on the first tee, never seen the course before, played like hell, shot 69, and missed qualifying by 3 shots. I said, that's the first and the last. That's me, no more.
Well, all I can tell you, it was very interesting, my experience, because I didn't know much about it and I arrived. But the American players got sort of the plum spots. I was teeing off at 7 in the morning when it was freezing cold, or I was teeing off at 1 in the afternoon when the wind was howling. I remember the first tournament I played in Chicago, these Americans all went off at 7 in the morning. They had like 20 spots. These guys were shooting 69, 68, 67. And we were playing in the afternoon in a howling wind. If you broke 75, you played really well. And that was the problem. And it seemed like everything was made up for them. And I think it's still the same.
They catered to the winners. I know when I won the tournament in San Jose in California in 1965, after that, every week I was paired with winners. Because they pair in America the winners together, the guys who made a lot of money together, the guys who made very little money together, and the guys who made no money together. So, of course, when you made no money, you first off or last off, you really stuck behind. Okay. And it was great because all of a sudden, every week, I'm getting paired with Nicholas and Palmer and Player and Casper and Trevino and Player. You know, it was great to play with all the top players. Look, sometimes it wasn't so nice. I remember one time I was playing in Canada, playing with a guy called Rex Baxter. We got to about the 5th hole, we were playing with Arnold. And it was kind of a layup hole, there's water out there, but we hit our drives and he hit a bit short of us. And it was he still probably had 230 yards to the green, and he took this wood or something and hit it on the green from 230 yards. And by the time we got to our ball stage shot, the green was totally surrounded by people. They didn't want to know about us. They get marshals to clear them away so we could play. But Arnold Palmer's army was... They hated him for a while when Jack Nicklaus started to take over.
We're going to show a picture now that we have of you with Arnold Palmer, the great Arnold Palmer. There you are on the right-hand side, obviously the youngest, best-looking guy. Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, and who's the guy in between the two?
Retief Waltman. He won the South African Open twice. He was a very good player. That was at Royal Birkdale in 1961.
It's a wonderful picture. How did you go in the tournament?
I thought I won it.
Oh, did you win it?
I don't. I played a lot of British Opens and things. I don't remember. I don't remember.
Royal Birkdale.
Royal Birkdale,
And
1961.
Arnold Palmer, you obviously knew him. He
Well,
was some type of person, wasn't he?
He was. Liked to have a few scotches.
Oh.
He didn't have a great sense of humour. I mean, guys pulled a little trick on. He used to really get upset, but he was great for the game. I remember his first wife very well, Winnie, who died of cancer, regretfully. And of course, what happened in those days, especially when I got married and we had children, we used to check in the same hotels because the women and the kids always used to play together. Like there was Bob Charles's wife, Verity, Tony Jacklin's wife, Vivian, Arnold's wife, Winnie, Jack Nicker's wife, Barbara.
Your sister?
My sister. Yeah. And all the wives and the kids used to hang around. If one of the players were doing well, then other wives would watch their kids so they could go and watch the husband play. So it was very, very, very intimate and friendly.
And just talking about those players, you obviously made lifelong friendships with some of them, you know. Yeah. Bob Charles, one of your mates?
Can I tell you a story? Got time for a story?
You have to tell us a story, yeah.
I meet Bob Charles in 1958, just outside of Sunningdale. We're staying at a digs, 7 and 6 at night. Anyway, it's a long story. Rolls-Royce dropped me off. Guy Peavy was the managing director of Bell Telephone, and they met me at the airport. Eventually dropped me in this little street outside of Sunningdale. Never saw a Ford in their life, never mind about a Bentley. Dropped me off my golf course, walk inside, the lady says to me, "Oh, you Bobby." I had made reservations. "We have a golfer here from New Zealand called Bob Charles." Never heard of him. Anyway, walk inside, meet this guy. He's 22 years old, I'm 17, and we become very good friends. And start practicing together. About 2 weeks later, we're sitting one, start talking man to man. I said, "Bob, you ever been with a woman?" He said, "No, I'm a virgin." I said, "Yes, I'm also a virgin." I said, "Look, Bob, we've got to sort this out." Got on the train, we went into Soho. We found these two chicks on this corner. Boobs like this, 30 bob each, you see. So he takes the one.
30 bob?
30 bob each. 30 bob each. He takes the one, I take the one. Well, I'm 17. I'm back downstairs there in 5 minutes. By the time I get downstairs, he's waiting for me. We get back to the digs. He took every stitch of clothing and put it in boiling water, including his wallet, his watch, everything, because he's one of those guys. Well, today he's Sir Bob Charles.
Yeah.
But eventually I introduced him to my sister's best friend, Verity, who he married.
Yeah.
That's the story.
The golfing community, as you say, is very close.
Yeah.
It is sad that they don't help guys who really, in need.
I'd say the great thing today was, even watching the Ryder Cup, and of course what happens, people blame the Americans, but when you go to Europe, they're not much better. With all due respect, it's very, very, very confrontational. Okay? And but all those top players are all big buddies. I mean, they play every day together. They have dinner together. The wives are friendly. It was sad to see you get a few drunks there performing the way they did. And I think Rory got a bit carried away the way he acted. He should have he's a champion. He's the best player in the world, no doubt. He should have just let it go and play. But
absolutely.
Did you watch it last night? You see that replay? Jeez, what a player he is. What big cajolis, as they say. But I was pleased they won because Europe had won the previous 4 times, and I think it was Time America, which they won well. In fact, the golf course they won in Hazeltine, I finished in 1968. I got beaten by a shot by Lou Graham in the Minnesota golf race on the same golf course. They actually made it short. It was too long. When I got there, all my buddies said to me, "We want to see you play this course," because I was a short hitter. I actually shot 67 in the last round, which was a course record for many years.
So, in fact, that proves one thing about golf. You don't actually have to hit it that far to be good at the game.
No, you don't.
And there are a lot of short hitters, you must have come across them, who were very good at the game.
A lot of long hitters got lost in the woods.
Yeah, well, what did Harvey Pennick said? The woods are full of long hitters.
There you go. I've never said
that was his saying.
One thing that you got, if you can chip and putt well, you can make money wherever you play. If you can hit on the fairway, chip and putt, you can make money. Doesn't matter where you go. I mean, there are a lot of guys that are making a lot of money. And, in our day, we played for the money. Today, I tell you, if you said to Jordan Spieth, next week he plays the what is first prize, he would have no idea. He'd guess $1 million or something, but he wouldn't know.
Yeah. Because it actually doesn't matter, the money.
No, it doesn't. They make so much money. Yeah. And like I said, most of them do a lot of good. They all have their own charities. That's nice to see.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this segment up, and we're going to come back next week and chat about racing, because racing is in your blood, and I know you've got some fabulous stories to chat about racing.
I've got some great stories, James, some really good stories. Okay.
Right. Let's just get this book up again. This is Bobby Favey's book, which you've got to buy all your mates for Christmas. You've got to go on Amazon. Amazon, Bobby, what's the other plan?
And Kindle.
Kindle, Amazon and Kindle. You can buy this book.
Online.
And really it's well worth a read, because as you see, can only be the greatest fun ever. We'll be back next week with Bobby, where we're going to talk about some of the racing stories that he's got, and that's going to be fun.
Whoever said winning isn't everything never had to fight cancer. South Africa's sporting community has embraced the challenge, and now the sport of horse racing adds its voice. On Friday night, 28 October, Greyville Racecourse goes pink in support of breast cancer awareness. All funds raised will go towards building Pink Drive's mobile mammogram and educational units. When you're helping to fight cancer, winning is everything. The Pink Drive Race Meeting, Friday night, 28 October.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.